things you do for yourself are gone when you're gone. The things that you do for others remain as your legacy. And today, and that's by Kula, Ndukwe. And so we're going to talk about the legacy that you want to read. I love this quote when I first read it. But you know, a legacy is something that we all have the right and the privilege of leading. What kind of things do you want to be remembered for? You know, a lot of people want their name up in lights, or they want their name on a building. They want their names, but how about this? When someone thinks of you, when you're gone, and someone remembers, you want to leave them a legacy of your character. That you walked the talk, that you saw other human beings purposed and having those rights and those values. Hi, I'm Barbara Britt, and today we're talking about the legacy that you want to leave behind. And it's got to be intentional. You know, legacy is intentional, and you're not leaving it behind so that you get your name on a building, or that you get the glory, or that you get the money. A legacy is how you want to be known as a human being. You know, people will say all the time, well, what do you want, Barbara? And I'll say it, and they look at me and they're like, well, I know, but like, what's your greatest purpose? Well, I will tell you what, my purpose, my legacy that I want to leave behind is that I made a difference. That I see the beauty, the intelligence, the uniqueness, the creativity in other human beings. And really and truly, when they feel like they're accepted, they feel like they're valued, then they can grow to their best selves. So I want you just to have a little assignment, let's talk about, or just something you want to do, and look at your legacy and sit down in some quiet, put on some meditation music, put on something that you can just reflect. What legacy do you want to leave? Make sure that you really define it, that you're very intentional about it. And then you want to be able to talk about it. You want to be able to, you want your children and your friends and your colleagues at work, you want people to see what that legacy is. And you want to be able to allow your legacy to build a vision, because that's how other people come along. That's how we do a movement. That's how we make a change. That's how we get to recognize and love what came before us, and recognize where we can go and what we can be. So, leaving a legacy behind. I'm a culture strategist, and one of the reasons that I am a culture strategist and that I name myself that is because I want the legacy of a company to be empowering. Why would I want that? Well, you know, companies are in communities, right? And when a company has a culture, a character, so to speak, about them, and that everybody joins in that company, and they get to build that vision together, the best of those people come out. We stop away with having to compete against other people, or having to be jealous over something that they have that you don't. When people feel valued, then I'm telling you this now, the place when we come into work is a fabulous place. People come in and they're happy and they're excited. In that, collaborative work takes place. People join together to make this the best environment, community they can. When they leave that office, they go home and they lend that to their families. They lend that to their church communities. They lend that to their chambers or all the different organizations they're in. Their children pick that up and they start trying to leave the same type of legacy. So today, again, if you only develop yourself, it's gone when you're gone. But if you build for a bigger, a larger purpose, then it's there forever. You know, all of you, I want you to think back, and this will be the last thing I want you to leave you with today. When people talk about you, or when people call and say, and every once in a while I still have the privilege of some of my ex-students calling and saying, Miss Britt, do you remember this? You guys, it wasn't about the money I had to spend. It wasn't about my name being in billboards. It was that I allowed them, I encouraged them, I promoted them to remember the greatness that they could achieve by being on one of my teams or being in leadership. So I want you to think about that. Why the legacy of character? Why today is that so vitally important to me? Because I want to tell you what, to change the culture of our world, we have to start thinking about the legacy we want to be remembered by. Could people know, like, and trust you? Did your character live bigger than you yourself did? Did you enable others to reach the realms and heights that they were purposed for? So, I hope you've enjoyed this. Drop me a note on it. But you remember this. What kind of a legacy do you want to leave behind? Forget about the name on the buildings and all of that. What type of a legacy do you want to leave behind? Have a great day. Again, I am so glad I got to be with you today, and I'm glad that we're on our journey for 4 series of legacy building.